Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Joleen's Happy Time Craftcast. I am Joleen and I'm streaming live from my kind of messy workshop. But you know what? These are the facts and I don't care. This is what it really looks like all the time. Except usually my dog is usually right. Oh, there he is. He is there. He kind of blended in with the carpet or the tile, and I thought that he wasn't down here. There's Augie. It's wonderful to be with you on this Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me see. What do I have to say in the way of our happy time happenings? What's new and exciting? Well, I mentioned on our last show that our retreat season came to a lovely end. Thank you all so much if you were a part of it. It was so awesome. And then we hosted Thanksgiving, and then we've now had a real couple of weeks off. And what's really interesting in the land of Darren and Joleen, we moved then from retreat season to yoga mat season and Black Friday. So Darren has been really busy out in the print shop working on Christmas orders of yoga mats and getting all of those out. So never a dull moment around here. And if you don't know about Big Raven Yoga, then really shame on me for not talking about it enough. Our second business that Darren and I started as serial entrepreneurs is Big Raven Yoga. So we design and manufacture yoga mats. I don't know if you know this about me, but Big Raven Yoga is even older than Big Raven Farm and is really the reason that we bought our farm. It was so that we could bring the production of our product in-house. So we have like a full real live print shop. And Darren isn't only a chef, but he's also a yoga mat maker and a CTO, and he has like a million different responsibilities. And one of those responsibilities right now is making yoga mats. So, but I should say before I move on, lest you think it's just like a normal yoga mat. No, it's art. It's art on a yoga mat. And so we have about 45 different guest artists who put their artwork on our substrate, including myself. So it's functional art. And they're amazing. They're a luxury piece of stuff. And if you aren't familiar, I'll be sure to link it in the notes because that's like another thing we do. So that's what's going on. We're busy making yoga mats. And of course, like everyone else, getting ready for the holidays. So with that, then, I always tell you that I'm super excited about each and every guest. And today, no different, like no different at all. I really believe that you are going to enjoy the conversation that we are going to have today with Naomi Christenson. She's a Minnesota girl just like me, and she grew up in a creatively supportive family and was always encouraged to make beautiful things. She has a BFA, and she's now pursuing her MFA, which is her Master's of Fine Arts, and she is doing that in painting. She's been inspired by life's patterns and rhythms, and she creates through color, movement, and intuition, drawing from art, design, and dance. She actually teaches tap dance lessons, so we got to talk more about that. She's a Minnesota girl from Duluth, and I know you are going to do a really good job of welcoming Naomi to the Happy Time Craftcast. There she is. Hi, Naomi.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I love that when you did your jazz hands, like I heard like music in the background. That was amazing.
That's how you add color in other ways to a
That's
Zoom.
right. Flair,
Mhm.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know that you are busy getting ready for commissions as well.
Mhm. Yes.
But in the introduction, I told folks that, Masters of Fine Arts in painting. But when you meet new friends, like, what do
Mhm.
you say? How do you introduce who you are in your world of art?
That's a hard one for me,
Yeah,
actually. I think depending on the context, I take a different tack maybe every time.
sure, of
Um,
course.
if I know somebody who has, we've met because we've danced together, that's usually where I start. If I meet because they've seen some artwork of mine up at a gallery, usually that's where I'll start. I find it can be kind of overwhelming to just throw all of it out there
Yes.
first
Hmm.
meet people. So
I
try to
agree.
find right inroad and then slowly.
Well, and don't you think too, when you are a multidisciplinary artist like we are, it's kind of hard to say, because like y- y- I fold books I flip
Right.
paper. I make collages. I make new things out of old things. I do things with sculpture. So I totally understand what you say, that it's kind of hard to like break it into this one little baby thing. But have you always been crafty, creative, artsy?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely raised that way. My mom is she had a sewing business out of her house. She taught kindergarten, so she teach mornings, and then she
Huh.
had sewing and alterations business on the side, and then she
Oh,
also would just sew clothing. She's every special occasion dress pretty much that I wore, she made. Um,
well, that's
and so
awesome.
yeah, yeah, and even like the light
Yeah,
fixture on our kitchen table is a stained glass piece that she made.
that's
So
awesome. My mom too. My mom's been a guest here on the show, and my mom is wildly creative. If she doesn't have, and I think it's where I get it, if she doesn't have busy hands, she's almost uncomfortable. Like she
I
always has to have
time. And
to
my
do.
mom will watch movies and she'll knit or she'll crochet. Like she's
Yep,
always, it's the hands are always going and she's always
yep,
creating.
yep.
Yeah.
My mom too. In fact, I love you, mom, but she's a little insufferable if she doesn't have a project. Like she's just like, she'll sit in the kitchen and she'll be like, I have to be doing something. And I'm like,
Mhm.
Josephine, simmer down just a little, like, let me find you something. Let me go and gather it for
The
you.
daughter equivalent is the mother saying your first and middle name is calling your mother by first name.
Oh, I
Josephine.
know, right? Oh, and my mom has such a beautiful name. I love her name.
Yeah.
But she doesn't like it. She's never liked it. And
Oh.
I think it's just absolutely beautiful. But it's funny. My mom is kind of a classic boomer person. She was raised by Depression era parents, and so that's been very like that shapes who she is.
Yeah.
But like the funniest thing always is, her name is Josephine, mine is Joleen, my grandfather was Joseph. And so when
Oh,
people ask her if I'm named after her, she'll just be like, no, no,
no, she does not.
yeah, no, like just say yes, mom. Just say
Oh,
yes because it sounds nice,
funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. All right. So, in preparation for your visit today, Naomi, we asked our community. We
Mhm.
send out emails and let them know who you are, and then we ask them what they want to know. And so they are amazing, and they send in these really great questions for us to ask you.
Awesome.
So, here we go with Dear Crafty, which is you and me. The first one came in from Jess. And Jess, thank you. Jess has been such a great friend and fan of our show. So Jess asks this. She says, please show. Well, here. What's your favorite unexpected natural pattern you've ever discovered? That's a good
Mm.
one.
Yeah. I think mushrooms probably have the most because there's like
Okay.
under the mushroom cap is the obvious one, but then when I
Yes.
started looking at other ones, there's other ones where they have polypore. So instead of
Yes.
gills, they have like all of these little
Mm-hmm.
dimples, I guess you'd call it. But then
Yes.
if you move
Yep.
that, like visually as a pattern, it goes from, you can see like the waves of the
Yes.
form itself. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you
I
look
agree.
in like biology books about mycelia, which
Mm.
grows underground, super interesting to look at. So there's a
Oh,
lot of,
I love that. We have a lot of chicken of the woods here on my property. And so, yes, so that's amazing. Great
Mhm,
texture, great rhythm, like a lot of inspiration. And
mhm.
honestly, too, I think, Jess, you can't really do them wrong. What do you think? Like, you
No,
can't make them wrong.
no. And I think part of the fun of it too is like discovering that so mushrooms move, like change a lot. If you look at, I
Yeah.
love looking at leaves too, but from day to day, they don't change that much. But sometimes in mushrooms, depending on what's going on around them, within 12 hours, you can look at those time lapse videos. Within 12 hours, they'll like,
Oh, right.
oh,
They're
what they're
so
doing.
like, yes, and Deborah, great friend of the show too. She's saying beautiful behind you. Absolutely agree with that. And so when you find a color pattern or texture, do you keep it somewhere? Like, do you have like a repository of inspiration, or do you just draw upon them without kind of keeping a record?
I mean, I have a phone in my pocket all the time. So anytime
Yeah.
I see them outside, usually I'll take a lot of photos. And they're
Mm-hmm.
semi-organized, I guess you could say. But usually, and I look through, if I took, like in the fall, when the leaves are changing, which is where this one comes from, fall leaves in my backyard. There'll be a week and a half where they're changing every day. And so I'm out there a ton. Then after I've got a million, I'll go through and sort of weed through which ones am I not going to use because I don't need 100 of the same leaf. But I'll sort of try to refine it so that when I go to look for fall leaves, I don't have 1,000 to look through. I have like 50.
That's really a great way to do it, because I always think that I am going to keep a sketchbook and like have reference stuff in there, but I don't. I'm not organized in that way. But I always, like you said, have my phone with me. And so I think that that's a tool that I forget about as an artsy person, to like keep inspiration. We'll get to a little bit later of one of the things that I do, and you'll see, not organized like at all. So it's another, like, right on the list for 2026 for sure. All right, here is another question. And this one, do you see it yet? We're having like a technical lag today, it seems. But anyway, here's the question. Maybe it'll come up. This is from Dana. Dana, what advice do you have for artists who feel disconnected from their creativity and need to rekindle their curiosity? Like, so I think Dana's asking, like, what do you say when people say they're stuck?
Yeah. So I would throw a couple questions to you, Dana, because stuckness can come from a couple different directions. If you happen to be somebody who has perfectionistic tendencies, sometimes we get stuck because we think if we're going to create something, it needs to be great or it needs to work the first time.
Right.
So if that's the case, I would say set the bar really low and give yourself lots of praise for starting at something. And sometimes there's an idea that's kicking around in your head and it's like, well, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. And until you actually try it, you're just going to be stuck there. So think about like, what is the easiest way to do that? Like if you set the bar really low, you know, engage with it in a real simple way. And then if you sometimes you get past that one, then you think, okay, when I was working on that, did it make me think about other things I might want to try?
That's really great advice.
Yeah. Curiosity is finding a thread and then following it. So if there is any thread at all, anything you're seeing like, wow, it's really white outside. I'd like some color in here. Okay, well, think about that. What colors might you like in here? And then maybe look at a color book or even go to, at Home Depot and look at the colors that they have. Like, think about something that you might like to try and then just find a really low bar way to start.
I love that idea. It kind of takes some of the pressure off of it too. When we're not thinking about, and I talk to my artsy friends about this all the time. Like, I think sometimes like the people in my world get really vexed by time and how long things take. Well, how long does that take? And I think I don't think I do it. Maybe I used to. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking in a circle. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't think about time as much as I used to. Now, that doesn't mean I don't get a gold medal in bitching when it takes forever. Like I do. I totally do. But if I want it bad enough, I'm going to definitely put in the time. And I don't really use that as a metric anymore. What about you?
I think because my full-time work is in the creative sphere, I don't think about that. But I do sometimes if I have a deadline, like if I'm doing client work, then I definitely have to think about the time. But I think when you're thinking about the time too, it's another thing that's going to sort of squelch your curiosity. So setting the bar low, like I'm just going to give it a half hour even.
Right. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Put the little time demon on hold, like half hour. Because it's like we have all of these things running through our heads saying you can't do it because of this and you can't do it because of that, or you're not going to succeed. And so often I feel like it's really just identifying what is the little meh, 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 and going, okay, quiet.
Right.
And then just giving yourself space. And then when you do actually do it, give yourself a pat on the back. Because even if it doesn't look amazing, you took a step. You know, it's a journey.
Don't you find too that like some of the things I have to remind myself of too is that in our path to greatness, like we might make a lot of ugly stuff along, right? Like we still have to dabble and try. Like we don't just kind of like arrive as an expert
Yeah.
I think that's the thing about like expertise is that I think we get confused by thinking that it doesn't also take practice. It most definitely does. And I think that, like watercolor for me, great example. I feel like I've been trying to slay this beast for so long. And I have like famous friends who are like watercolor people and I'm almost embarrassed to let them know like I can't seem to get it in the same kind of way. But
Yeah.
then I was looking at some of my work and I mean, call me a girl in search of validation, but I mean, does that not look like a vase of flowers?
It does. Pretty.
I know I did that. So
That's
maybe,
great.
right? Maybe I can, but I just
Hmm.
keep saying that I can't, but I really can.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's like you get expertise in one area and then you think,
Yeah.
okay, that's just who I am. So then you start something new and you're like, oh, not good.
Right.
But you have to remember you have to start bad.
Right. Right. Or a novice or inexperienced, right?
Right.
And off we get.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually a really great segue because I want to talk about my book review right now because I think it's going to lead us into some other fun things to talk about. And so, for those of you who have been friends and fans of the show, you know that I've started this new segment. It's my little book nook for makers. And this book this week, boy, I tell you, it's one of those things where this is a technique that I've been doing for a while. But to find an actual resource for folks that may or may not have ever given this a try before. So let me see how I can make this look better. All right, here we go. So the book that I'd like to talk about is called Cut Paper Pictures, and that might look backwards to you,
I see it
maybe
right.
even. Okay, Cut Paper Pictures, and it is by Clover Robin. And what I have really enjoyed about this book is Clover says, okay, let's just cut out some basic shapes. Let's cut out the shapes of a bird. Let's cut out the shapes of a butterfly, um, plants and foliage, vegetables and trees. And she's like, it's a triangle, friends. Like, it's just a triangle. Like, you can cut out a triangle. And then she puts them together in like really beautiful compositions. So, what I love about the book is the larger conversation just about shapes, and
Mhm.
then taking the shapes and actually doing something with them. Like, look at these letters. I mean, wonderful, just absolutely brilliant. And so here's an example where then Clover takes these ideas and she puts them together in a composition. So she calls this one Step by Step at a Dog Park. And even like the people, like to get the pattern of the people, it's like a V, like it's like two V's. It's just broken down so beautifully. And so I think this Cut Paper Pictures, excellent book. Really, really excellent. 10 out of 10, friends. You're going to love this book. Again, it's by Clover Robin, and I have loved it. Now, what I do, and I'm going to let you into, sometimes I don't always like to show you like the inner workings of my brain because it's kind of messy. But what I do in paper piecing and paper collage is I like to make doodles. And I make these doodles and then I make a copy. And making a copy isn't like back in the day. I take a picture of it with my phone and then I print it out on the computer. It's not like I'm, running to Kinko's or have an actual copy maker. But anyway, so I print them out and then I have all of these little pieces that I can make a composition from. And so I like it, and I like it in this paper pieciness. So that might not mean anything, but let me show you how I then use it in its application. So here is an example, right? I've taken paper that I painted, and painting paper, one of my favorite things to do because it's messy and you don't need to have any precision at all. In this example, I used a limited color palette, some gold, some blue, some brown. And then I used a palette scraper or a catalyst wedge, whatever you want to call it. You could even use an old credit card or a gift card. And I just pulled the paint across the paper and got all of these lovely blended colors and shapes. So then I keep that I don't throw away any of it. Again, here's some insight into my crazy brain. I believe these are all precious, and I can use them for something. So like, look at this piece, right? Lots of different dimension, lots of different color. So then I take this, I find one of my layouts, and I just start putting those things together. Like that would make a pretty cool flower, right? And then I just find an empty page in my art journal. Let's use this one. And I just start piecing it all together. So like there's that cool flower. And then some of my other pre-cut shapes. So maybe I want something like a little bit bigger now. And you could always, sketch it and make it that way, but I don't do that. I like this. I like just putting it together and seeing what I like. I might even decide that I want to do several of these in lots of different compositions. And then before you know it, I have a full kind of fun layout. So while I am cutting this, Naomi, you tell us what you do, because I know you do things in paper piecing as well. So take us through your process.
I love that Clover mentions in that book the looking at shape, because I feel like when you're working with paper, what you're talking about is shape. And the paper may have pattern or color swished on it, so sometimes that distracts you from it. But when you're actually cutting it and putting it together, it's shapes. And when I'm drawing something, so I do a lot with realism. I take it beyond that, but I do a lot of like life drawing and people. And when you're doing that, you're thinking about the shapes, the shape of the cheek, the shape of the eye, the shape of the eyebrow. And so I take that and I cut paper to be those shapes. So this is one from a sketchbook. So it's more abstracted, but you can definitely see person there.
Definitely.
Ear and eye and the hair. She's leaning out there. So I find it to be a fun way to like approach how I look at drawing a figure or a person, but in a different medium.
Well, and do you find is this like a warm up? Is this practice? Is this like, because a lot of people say, well, what do you do with it?
I have the sketchbook and it's in there.
Exactly. I made it.
I can flip through my sketchbook and be like, oh, look at pretty. Oh, look at pretty.
Right, exactly.
I mean, now a lot of people would say that that's not a use, but I feel like.
Oh, I would argue that it most definitely is.
Yeah. And when your life is creating, it's so fun to have these books. This is like your, photo album, as it were, of your adventures in life. But we have adventures with our art supplies.
I love what you're saying too about, so like in the face, just like with the people, and Clover saying like, make a V, like you make a V, a wide V, and that's legs and that's pants. Right. And then make a rounded V with like a little bit of a snippet for a collar. And like all of a sudden that's the jacket. And so I want to see like in my own brain, like, okay, so I'm going to cut some pants and I'm going to see if it's actually as easy as our little book says. So I keep every single scrap, right? Because I'm crazy. Do you do this too? Like, do things become precious where you're just like, I painted that paper?
You know what? As a mode of discipline, I toss things once I feel like I've used up the useful part, because otherwise I would be so overrun with paper.
So smart.
And that starts to impede my creativity. Like when I feel like I have too much clutter around, I can't focus on anything. So I think it's probably just person to person. Look at that.
So there's the body, right? So she says, make a round thing and then make a little V. Okay. And now let's see if I'm able to make pants. So for the pants, it was another V. Like, was it like, I think it was kind of skinny, wasn't it? It was like this. And like this. And then like this. Oops, I'm falling off this. Oh my gosh, I think I just made pants. You put those two things together. And look at, I already made a person. Not a high contrast person, but a person.
Made a jumpsuit.
Yep, I made a jumpsuit. If I made a little head, you would totally know that's a person.
You made a jumpsuit. I love a jumpsuit.
Oh my God, that's so cute. So anyway, the idea, friends, is that starting with shapes and then putting the shapes together, you can make all kinds of lovely collages. And with Clover's idea, it's cut paper pictures. And then with my idea, it is more, I would say, keeping a catalog of your favorite shapes, like I have with my flowers and pieces. Because now I could like, okay, so there's my person in the jumpsuit, and I could add one of my cool, right? Like figure out what that's going to be. Maybe not so much contrast, but the idea is you just keep putting stuff together until you're happy. I love this particular process, especially when I don't know what to make, but I want to make something. I just want to move my hands and be creative. Do you have activities like this?
I mean, I usually have about 100 projects going at a time, because then
Nice.
given day I can say, what do I have the energy to work for? Like, what's most exciting? And then
Mm-hmm.
go to that. But yeah, I think having a sketchbook is great for that, because you always have a drawing you can work on that you've already started.
Right.
And I
Right.
feel like starting is sometimes such a big, ooh.
So, what is on your work table right now? Like, I mean, we all have lots of projects going at one time, but like,
Mhm.
are you working on something for self? I know you're working on commissions,
Yep.
but what are you working on right now?
All right. Well, I'm working on, I just last night actually did a one night class, and I was working on tap dance choreography up until yesterday.
Nice.
And we did a one night class, and for admission, you made a donation to Lifehouse, which is a local
Mhm.
organization we have here. So I
Okay.
do that this year, where we do like a tap dance event. And the idea is in 90 minutes, we're going to learn a whole dance. So it's like the parameters are set up differently than for taking class. But the
Right.
idea is just, we're going to put this together, and it had all levels together. We did it like a choir, like, different parts for
Kind
different
of like
levels.
a call and response, like kind of thing.
It was so fun. So you have all these levels
Oh
of
my
of
gosh.
tap dancers getting to tap together. So that
Right.
was like the beginning of the week. And I have so I'm sort of revamping my website, which is
Okay.
not a fun project.
I know. Takes time, right?
It's a creative necessity. And then I have commission work, which I can't show you, but it does involve portraiture. So between painting my background and then drawing out all of my figures
Mhm.
to get faces right, that's kind
Yeah.
of nice too, because then if I feel more like painting, I can work on the painty part of it. If I feel more like drawing or trying to figure out the
Hmm.
puzzle. And I'm also working on costume design for a local theater.
Oh my gosh. So you have lots, like many of us, so many projects going at one time.
Yeah.
So in your painting, we like to talk tools here.
Mhm.
Do you have a favorite tool, favorite line of paint? Like what you have a go-to?
Yeah. So golden paint is my favorite. I work in acrylic paint, and I
Mhm.
love me some golden. At times, I like that you can do a heavy body and then use, a
Mhm.
variety of different glazes to like thin it out. But I also
Yeah.
just use water sometimes,
Oh yeah.
because depending on what it is I want it to do. But love me some golden acrylic paint. And then I started using, it's not traditionally a painting tool, but Speedball is like
Oh, I love speedball.
Speedball squeegees.
Mm-hmm.
Like moving big swaths of color
Yep.
with acrylic paint. That has been a fun like addition to my practice this year. And then I've also started using so buying raw canvas just on a roll, and
Mm.
then hanging that, so you can see the little clips up here. I've got
Yeah.
100-year-old house, and I don't always want to tack things up, so I'll clip them.
Yeah.
Um, but working with raw canvas and dyeing it first, like using RIT dye to
Oh, I
like dye.
love that.
Yeah, because dye moves so differently than paint. So this one
Right.
actually started with dye, and you can even see some of the dye in the background of it.
Right.
And then I
And
use,
are you gonna stretch it over canvas at the end
I
then, or
do,
on a frame?
yeah, yeah,
That would be so beautiful to have your
yeah.
edges. Like I
It'll
love.
define where the edge goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I did the dye, and then I rolled clear acrylic. Liquitex makes a clear acrylic or a
Yep.
clear gesso over the
Hmm.
top to sort of set it, and then I painted with acrylic
So
paint
you
over.
wouldn't lose your dye. So it was already, yeah,
Yeah.
stable.
It does
Oh,
leach a little bit into the paint, so everything has sort of a purple undertone,
which I
which
think is amazing.
I don't hate that at all. So
Right. I wouldn't hate that either.
yeah.
I have limited experience with golden. I kind of like stay in a Liquitex lane, but that
Mm.
doesn't mean I don't want to. Like I definitely do. And here's a tip for my friends is what I have done on my phone is I keep a list of my paint brands and colors so that when I'm out and about and I feel tempted to grab more stuff, I can go back to this note on my phone and be like, no, I've got plenty of that one.
Mhm.
Because I tend to kind of, when you watch the sales and when there's like buy one, get one, or like
Mhm.
25% off or whatever, I just really like the control that I have
Mhm.
with this walking inventory. And then, of course, you have to update it when you buy something new or throw something out, but it has helped me spend less and use more, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's always good to have like a good inventory. And there's so many different colors that I remember.
I know I
Uh,
do the same thing with watercolor because I'm always tempted by it.
mhm.
And I have to say, Deborah, thank you so much. So Deborah knows me really well, and she is like, "Way to grow, Jolene! Like, way to grow! Like, I'm doing it. I'm doing the watercolor. I'm totally doing it." And I feel like I can I'm gonna start today saying that I watercolor, like, because I
There you go.
clearly made that vase of flowers. So
That's right.
I,
You can
right,
own it.
yep, I'm gonna own it. And then also for you, Naomi, she says that like the low bar and that idea of struggle helps folks understand what they need to learn and what they need to pay attention to. So very well said, Deborah. Thank you so much. For me, what I am working on, I am working on, well, so I bought a thing and now I feel absolutely compelled to do something with the thing.
Mm.
And ridiculous because it's a bowling ball. So I so I bought a bowling ball at a yard sale.
As one
It,
does.
as one
Mhm.
does. Like you
Mhm.
see a bowling ball for 50 cents and you're like, oh my gosh, I must
Buy
have,
me, buy me.
right? I must have said bowling ball. So I have not one, not two, but I have three bowling balls and they were all 50 cents. So I spent $1.50 on my background. But my vision came from a conversation here on the Happy Time. We were talking to a mosaic artist and she made something with these baubles. And I think she was covering up a planter for a plant. And I was like, oh, okay, that might be kind of cool. Let's try it on a bowling ball.
Mhm.
So far on my work table, friends, of course, these images, they are faces from Reader's Digest condensed books, naturally. And then I've been collecting the baubles that go on top. Now, what I have learned is that weld weld bond um, is dries clear.
Mhm.
So I first started with just regular glue and then I used weld bond on the bottom. But the weld bond is so strong that the baubles were coming off the top. So my new process is weld bond on both levels because I actually think I would like to maybe put it outside. We will see. But this is what's on my work table. And I know it doesn't look like much yet. But as I was saying with Naomi earlier, I think that once it's the whole thing, I think it then becomes kind of fabulous and interesting. I don't know. I'm in it now. I'm not giving up.
That's right.
And when you have a bowling ball, what do you do?
You don't go
Or when you
bowling.
have
No, no.
three?
That would be a
Well,
ridiculous thing to do.
I know, right? Well, and I was thinking maybe pennies. Pennies might be cool. I also have those disco ball mosaic tiles. That might be cool. But nothing speaks to me as loud as a Reader's Digest condensed piece of something. So more to come. But I did think that I had a pretty inventive way of I filled up the holes with hot glue
Ooh.
and they're very firm, very cured. There's no way that is coming out of there. So on my work table, I'm working on my bowling ball. I finished my tree. For those of you following along with that, my paper tree is where it needs to go. And I'm now working on my mosaic tree. So my mosaic tree is a 36-inch traffic cone.
Ooh.
And it's going to be a full tree, but she is a big girl. So the process, as I've talked about before, I found the 36-inch traffic cone on Amazon. I filled it with that expandable foam because it needs to be rigid enough to hold up the weight of the mosaic pieces. So I did that, kind of squirted all over, made a huge mess. I learned a lot. And now I'm in the actual fun part, which is the mosaicing of the broken bits of jewelry and whatnot. So my mom and her best friend went to a yard sale, and at the end of the yard sale, they were going to just toss everything that didn't sell. And so my mom, because she raised me right, was thinking about the ways in which I use these broken pieces. And so she brought them to me. And for those of you listening and not watching, I'm holding up about 40 pounds of broken jewelry. That was just destined for the earth. So I have plenty, which is why I decided to go 36 inches. Now, what I was saying earlier about time, right? As I looked at this at the beginning, I was like, okay, that's going to take me a while to get done. But now that I'm in it, like, it's really going to take me a while to get it done, because that's a lot of surface area. And because I struggle with putting things away seasonally, I actually don't know that I'm going to be able to put this away. Like, I think it's going to have to sit out all year long, because who doesn't have a bejeweled tree somewhere in their home, right?
My mom does.
Does she? Say more.
Well, Christmas trees are so fun, and she loves to decorate. So she has a little tree that she leaves in the dining room that is it's not a Christmas tree. It's a tree that takes ornaments year round. So on Valentine's Day, she has these fun so she'll do it for secondary holidays. But yeah, then she always has fun ornaments because she loves ornaments. So why just do it for a month a year?
Well, and I'm a creative person. I don't need to follow no damn rules. Like,
that's right.
It's just a tree. Like, it doesn't have to be a Christmas tree, to your mom's point. It's just a tree. But boy, she's going to be a very, very special tree. I'm very excited. And then the next thing I can't stop thinking about, my friend Dana does a lot with vintage buttons. So I'm thinking trees made out of buttons. But maybe not this big, maybe just something a little bit more manageable. But they can be in the forest with this tree.
You could have a fabulous forest.
I know, right? I know.
That's so fun.
I'm very excited, right? You wouldn't realize that I have a big girl job and I have to do my big girl responsibilities because I want to just do this. But like, I promise I will get all of my work done. But I really, really love assembly, and building is really my favorite. So I think I asked you earlier, or if I didn't, do you have a favorite? Like, if there's one of the things of all the things that you're going to do, if it's going to be dance or paint or another like mixed media, like, is there one that you're just like, ooh, that one's my favorite? Or does it go in waves?
It goes in waves. I would say it's probably a waves between painting and tap dancing. In part because when you're tap dancing, it's hard to not be just like over the moon happy. Like, it's just such a happy activity.
So can you teach us something right now? So like, if I just want like boom, forward and back with my foot and stomped, is that a thing?
If you just do it with the toe, you're hitting go forward and back, that's a shuffle.
Yep, I'm shuffling right now.
Shuffle, step. And then you step all the way down.
Shuffle. There you go. So does it go back, forth, down?
It goes out to the front, and then you
forward,
bring your knee up to hit it on the way up. So you're not actually going behind yourself.
Oh, forward, down.
Forward, up, down.
I'm totally doing it right now. Can you all hear my tennis shoes squeaking on the floor?
See, it's happy dance.
We have a really good family friend, Maria. If you're listening, Maria, has done tap dancing, and she's a theater kid, and she does all these great things. And when you mention you can't help but be happy, I mean, I've never seen her do it without a very large, broad smile on her face. And like, talk to us a little bit too about like cardiovascularly. I would imagine like gets the heart going for sure.
Oh yes, it does. It's great because it's like I am in my studio alone painting, and I love that. But having then a couple times a week where I leave and I go dance with people, keeps this time happy and special, and it doesn't get like, I don't get too
Sunk.
in. Yeah, I don't get too closed in because I don't. I mean, I'm just here in my studio working by myself, which I love, but too much of that, and then you start to
Right.
get weird.
Right.
Not in like the happy weird ways, but like in
Right.
the sad
Right.
winter sort of ways. So having that
Right.
outlet where we go and we dance together, it like fills you up at the same
Love
time.
that. You've inspired me. I want to do that now. You live close to Canada and
Mhm,
I live close to Iowa and
mhm.
Wisconsin. So there's like not a lot of that around me that I know of.
Yeah,
But I haven't done the research. So,
yeah.
and I also love exercise that doesn't feel like it. Like
Yes,
distract me with happiness and
yes,
I'll do it all the time. Tell me I'm working out and I'll be like moaning and groaning and again
right.
getting that gold medal in bitching. So I love that idea.
The other
So,
thing
so
I do is I do Zumba, which is like very
I
similar
love Zumba.
because it's just you go and you dance for an hour, and
Yes,
then you're like, oh, look at this, I'm sweaty and I got a good
yes,
cardio.
yes.
But like
I love
the thing I'm
Zumba.
focused on is the beats and the
Yep.
fun.
Yep. I
And
used
rhythm
to
is
do that in
rhythm.
Minneapolis before we moved to a small town. So thank you for reminding me of that. I got to bring that back in the rotation because that's
It's so
fun.
fun. It's so fun.
Hmm.
And then you're connecting with other people too, which is fun. But like
Right.
there's
Exactly.
such a fun tie through between rhythm and natural patterns because rhythm is
Okay.
a natural pattern that you don't see, but it is just as much a natural occurring pattern in the world
Hmm.
around us as like, the polypore mushroom. That's its own
Right.
visual pattern. But when you're dancing and you've got a beat and you've got rhythm and you've got things you're following, you are the pattern. You are making the pattern. So for me, that's a big tie in there too. I just love
Yeah.
patterns,
I
finding,
love
understanding, playing with.
I love that. So Naomi, tell us then.
Mhm.
So tell us how we can stay connected to you.
Well, okay, so there's a couple ways. One is if you are on Instagram, that's probably the platform I'm the most active, though I wouldn't say I'm super active, but we'll say semi-active.
Yep.
And
Yep.
primarily my visual art, but I will in my stories often post when there's other things
Yeah.
going on. But if you want to know about all the things, if you go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, that's right on the homepage. I send it out an email out probably twice a month, and it just gives you what's new, what I'm working on, links if I've got shows or things going on. So that's probably the best two ways to stay in touch.
That's awesome. And we will be sure to link that in the show notes. Because I think too, like, are your commissions opened? Are you open right now?
Well, right now, it probably not open just because finishing these ones for
Yeah.
holiday projects is
Mhm.
what's going on. But at different times of the year, yes, it will be
Okay.
open.
Okay.
And
That's good for folks to know.
I have a page on my on the if you're dinking around the website, you'll see there's a page for commissions where you can sort of start the process by submitting a request. But you can also take a peek at commissions I've done. I have a gallery of portraiture of animals and of just custom paintings for people's homes.
I love it because I am very inspired and deeply in love with what's behind you today.
Thank you.
And it's your work too that like is how we found you and we're like, we have got to talk to this person. Because one thing too that I meant to ask you and I didn't is can you talk a little bit about how you got this good?
Hmm. Well, the big the there I would say there's a couple of things. One is practice.
Mhm.
A lot of times we just see the end product and we don't think about how much time and practice goes into things. So
Yeah.
before I was able to leave my office job,
Yes.
you better believe I was painting and drawing on the side all the time.
Yes.
There's a local arts organization in town here, the Duluth Art Institute, and they have life drawing with live models once a month. So I go to that every month. It's like being committed to like, I want to get better. I want to work at
Yeah.
this. And then practicing. So that's a big piece of it. And then also I've gotten some good training. Like I went to my BFA is actually in design, but I also took studio art classes and dance, at the same time. And now I'm pursuing this MFA in painting, which is studio art practice. And there's a heavy emphasis on you have to be serious about your own practice
Yeah.
to get more skill.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Just like me and my watercolor. Like it's
right.
not gonna just
Yeah.
happen because I want it to. Like I
Right.
actually have to try and practice. And in my experience, like fail. Like I've made some messes and I'm just like, oh, that's nothing. But I think the most important thing is like to keep trying. And like it's kind of like I think like sometimes with my kids, they like are frustrated about what they can or cannot do.
Mhm.
And it's like, you might be the world's best figure skater. Maybe. But
Mhm.
if you never put on figure skates, how in the world would you know that?
Yeah.
And I feel that way in my art practice too. Like I might be really great at watercolor, but I don't try and I don't practice. And then when I do, I get frustrated that I'm not proficient immediately. And
Yeah.
so I think that as crafty people, I think that for me, what works the best is settling down on the time that we talked about and then integrating what you said about let's just have lower barriers or lower standards, right? Like, let's just get in and play. And I think that playfulness in all the things that I talk about when people come to retreats with us
Mhm.
is we talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
That like having an explorer's mindset and not that I'm headed for a museum or that
Mhm.
not every single thing is going to land the way we want it to can be quite freeing to just play, just discover. And I know it's easier said than done. I know.
Yeah, I mean, as a creative person, you have a strong imagination. And sometimes our imagination works against us because before we try something, we imagine it's going to go perfectly. And then when it doesn't, it's hard to get back from that. Or we imagine that it's going to look just amazing. And we imagine
Right.
great things, which is great. Like that's a strength we have as creative people is strong imaginations. But try to imagine that you're on a long journey. And this is a
Right.
privilege to be on this journey. And it doesn't matter, like you might get to be the best painter ever, but like, how would you even know? Just get to be a really good one. Just
Right.
get to enjoy it.
Exactly.
Enjoy it.
Exactly. So, question from our crowd too is just folks wondering, like, what was your inspiration or reason for pursuing your MFA now?
That's a really good question. Okay, so I have a couple answers because I've gotten this question quite a bit.
Yeah,
So I'm an independent artist. It's not as though if I got an MFA, I'm going to move into a new pay
sure.
grade. That was
Hmm.
always the first question. Or is there a particular job you want? I love the job I have.
Right.
Um, but I want to be better at it. I
Yeah.
want to be pushed. I want to be mentored by people who are experts in the field and can help me understand
Hmm.
where I can take this and how to get there. And I want to have that mentorship from professors, but also peer to peer. And you can kind of drum that up, but it's just not the same if people aren't also committed to their learning
Hmm.
and you're learning as much as an MFA program.
That
And
makes so much sense.
yeah, and I did study art in college, but it was like I said, I was primarily a design major.
Hmm.
And it's different than studying studio art. And I think in the back of my mind, I've always wanted to. So
Yeah.
I'm in a
I
place I'm in a place in my life where I can do it. So let's go.
I totally understand that. Because I get the question a lot, like, did I go to art school? No.
Mhm.
I've just always been this way and was raised by practical people who, I've told the story a million times, but like I thought I was going to be an actress and I thought that I was like Broadway bound. And then my dad sat me down for a conversation about expectations and practicality and
Mhm.
like it's a world full of rejection and you are very sensitive and are you sure you're going to be able to do that and like it's a hard road is what he said. I don't, but what I heard, because my brain was 18 and I wasn't fully formed, what I heard was, you're not good at that, which is absolutely false. I'm amazing at it, but I didn't know that then. Right? Like that back then, I didn't know that. All I heard was my dad's doubt in me, which he never had. And
Right.
so I quickly changed my major to something more practical and, double majored in business and communication, which also fine has served me well. But I'm not even kidding, Naomi, when I tell you it was my grad party. And my dad said, I really thought you were going to be an actress. And I was just like,
Should you grab him by the lapels and shake?
it just fried my brain, Terry. Like my brain is completely fried by this. Like,
Yeah.
but it just goes to show that his intention, like
Yeah.
he was just being a parent.
Yeah.
He was just like saying things, not realizing how it was landing. Like he was trying to be helpful. So I
Yeah.
totally forgave him for that. But I have
Yeah.
to tell you, when my son Charlie my son Charlie is a death metal drummer. And I support this endeavor 1,000,000%, and have never said anything like, is it practical? Will you succeed? Will you make money? Like, I don't care if you're in your buddy's garage or your basement, like, no cares at all. Just do what you love, and we will everyone will be so much happier. So that was the takeaway from that. But anyway, but I understand that going back to school and surrounding yourself with the intention of passion and purpose, and even like the practice of it, it's just so much more structured. And I could see where that would lend like so much value to your experience as an artist. I get it.
And at this point in my life too, I don't have like when I was 20 or 18, 22, whatever traditional undergrad ages. You are you're you, but you don't know yourself as well.
Oh yeah, not fully formed. Yeah.
And you also have like other people's opinions, and feedback is much more like a huge deal. Yeah. Whereas now I can hear other people's opinions and feedback, and I can think about it in the context of who they are, how much do they know, what do I know? It's not, negative feedback is not going to make me feel like I'm bad.
Right.
Or like if I can't do something, I'm going to feel like I'm not worthwhile. So I think there's a real benefit to going for my MFA now, because I can focus on the work and I don't feel like I'm trying to prove myself or validate myself or give other people the ability to validate or invalidate me, even if they're not trying to. But sometimes
don't you think that whenever you are in community with makers, artists, craftisans, makers, assemblage, whatever you want to say, like those are great spaces to be in. I love those spaces. Those are my favorite spaces. I host 26 of those immersions a year where people come and they make art with me, and I love it so much. It is such an amazing, like, immersive space to be in as a human being. I love it. There must be a part of that for you as well.
Art school is a little different, I'm going to say, just because it's not. It's difficult. Like there are some art programs, and I know for acting programs as well, where there is part of it where they're trying to break you down from where you've come from and then rebuild you.
Right.
So it is different than like taking a workshop or a weekend.
Yes. The joyfulness of making together. Yes.
Joy, but we also have like you're trying to put your deepest things in there, and other people are then commenting on what's working and what's not and why it's not working. So it's like
more vulnerability.
There's a lot of vulnerability there.
Yes. There. And I made a scary face. I was like, ugh.
But I mean, that's what happens in art school. Of course. That I had degrees of that in my undergrad, but like handling it now is so much different.
Well, Naomi, you may or may not believe this, but like time has gone by so fast. And I know, right? We're almost out of it, but I thank you so much for being here with me and with my people today. You've had so many insightful, wonderful things to say. So thank you for being so generous in that way. But before I let you go, I do need to make sure that I bring you around to our Happy 10. It's everybody's favorite segment. We might not get to all 10, but it just gives us one way to get to know you better. We have some questions that we ask everyone, and you can do one-word answers. You can elaborate, and hopefully they won't be too difficult. It just gives us a chance to get to know you even better. So here's your first one. And I know that this can be situational and they may change, but what is your favorite word today?
All right. I love a word that sounds great. I'm going to go with mellifluous, just because it's like, I couldn't even give you an exact definition, but I've heard it. I like to say it. It feels nice.
I like to know a person who likes to say it. Like it's so fancy. Like I feel like I have a fancy friend. That's awesome. I love that. Say it one more time.
Mellifluous.
Mellifluous. I sound like a smart person too. Okay. Do you have a least favorite word today?
Least favorite word. You could go with the class. I know it's been said on here before, but you could go with moist. Moist is always
You could. It's an emotion. It's a state of being. It's a feeling. Like it's got all the things. Yeah. Yep. That's a classic. That's definitely a classic. Yeah. For me, I know for a long time I was saying it was bro. my son is kind of leveling out on that a little bit. He doesn't call me bro as much. It's now bra.
Oh, so much better.
We're graduating to other like versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, so I was with my kids not yesterday, but the day before. And we were having pizza and snuggling on the couch. And have you seen this social media trend where a parent says to their child, like, the last time I pick you up, I didn't know it was the last time I was going to pick you up. And so adult parents are picking up adult children. Have you seen this?
I have not seen this.
Okay. So me and my children, we have all seen it. And we were talking about it. And in my family, I am the smallest person. And so we were talking about how funny and awesome it would be to like do this trend.
Yeah.
And my son Charles, like, kind of was laying on me, like, in an attempt that we were going to do this. And I just had at that moment, I don't care if he calls me Jolene or bro or bra or bruv or whatever. Like, I don't even care anymore because I just love him so much. And and I was like, you can call me anything, like, I just, I think it's being an empty nester. And like, when, like, having my children in these moments of like little kid vulnerability, it's just such a nice reminder of like what used to be. I'm getting very sentimental. All right. What about this one? It's so important. What is the best kind of sandwich?
I do like a turkey club with avocado on it.
I love that too. Do you go triple decker or just double decker?
I like a triple decker. I like the little sandwich sword on the top. It's kind of playful.
I do. I love it. I love it when on Friends, when Ross talks about the moist maker, like the piece in the middle, that just kind of keeps it from like ruining the roof of your. Yeah, like I had a triple decker BLT like a week ago. It was so good, and it was actually vegan. It was like a vegan bacon, which almost came out like a steak. It was like a strip of like bacon steak. It was good. It was good. And I know it didn't even taste, it was amazing. It tastes amazing. Okay, next one. You're an artist, Naomi. So what does that mean?
I am who I was meant to be.
And then a little kickball change, and then a little
Yes,
shuffle.
kickball change. There we go.
Maybe some jazz hands. I love it. That's a great answer. I love that answer. Is there a profession other than the one you are in that you've ever thought about attempting?
This is the one I wanted for so long. So now that I'm here.
Oh, yeah. So why? Yeah, this is the one you dreamt about. So why not? Is there then one where you're like, nope, nope, not going to do that one?
Well, there's many I would not like to do. Anything where I am responsible for numbers and
Same.
math and spreadsheets.
Same. Agreed. I also don't think I would like the kind where it's solitary. That.
Okay.
Like if you're in a cubicle.
Anything medical, I'm very squeamish.
Right. I don't know if I am. I am very squeamy when it's my people. My husband is a chef, and like when he cuts himself, I can't take it. Or if it's the kids, I get, freaked out. But I think if it was a different person, like not my person, I think I would be okay. I think.
Even if people are telling me about something happened to them or had to have done, I'm like,
right.
Please stop.
Like, there's a tunnel. You're like, don't walk toward the light. Okay, what about this? Okay, so what brings you the most happiness?
Creative challenges.
Ooh. So like when it's like something you have to engineer and find a solution like that?
I feel like I'm most engaged. So in a creative discipline where that I already work and I have expertise in, when there's some sort of creative challenge, because I feel like I am at my most engaged and I'm drawing on everything I've ever looked at or
all the things.
Like I'm like, I love that.
I love that. I could see that being very happy.
It's fun. It's a particular kind of happy.
I'm going to say, other than my family, blah, blah, blah. I love them a lot. Other than those guys, I would say, and I think too that like happiness for me is like almost spatial. Like you can walk into happiness chapters or vats. Like this makes me happy, and this makes me happy, and this makes me happy, right?
Mhm.
I think artistically and creatively, what makes me the most happy is seeing it, and then, as you said, maybe puzzling it out.
Mm.
Like I want a 3 foot tree, but I can't make it out of paper because it's going to be heavy. Like, how am I going to
Like
solve?
having a vision and then stepping into
Yes,
it.
yes.
Okay.
How am I going to solve the actual logistics and mechanics of
Mhm.
wanting to build this thing? And I've been describing myself as I mean, I'm definitely an artist, of course, but I'm a builder, I think
Mhm.
too. Like I like to build and assemble, and I don't really care about how many parts it takes. I just want what I want, and I'm gonna get there, like however I get there. But as I'm looking at this 36-inch tree in front of me, like I figured that out, and that was a pretty happy experience.
Yeah.
So I think you and I agree that creative challenges are kind of awesome.
They are. They're what we're made for. When I said like
Right.
what being an artist mean, it means I'm what I've always meant to be. Like I feel like I am now what I was always meant to be.
That's awesome. I love, Naomi, that you like you just do it with the jazz hands. I don't even know if you know that you're doing, but it's
I
like
don't
you're like,
I trust.
right. I just am so happy. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today, everyone. Please, I know you'll do us a great service by thanking Naomi for being on our show. We're going to link her website, sign up for that newsletter, see what's going on with commissions. If you live in the area, you can take some tap dancing classes. I'm sure lots of wonderful things are also on the horizon. So thank you so much for spending this hour with me. I have enjoyed every moment. So thank you very, very much.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. This is
Yeah,
fun.
my absolute pleasure. And friends, next time, Dari Lichman, she's going to be with me on the 17th of December, which is already next week. She is an owner of a craft salon in Brooklyn, and she loves dogs. We love dogs, and she's a thrift store addict, and an arts and crafts sommelier. So, so Dari is with me next week on the 17th, and I cannot wait to talk to her about all things wonderful and crafty. So, for those of you here today live, thank you so much for your questions and your engagement. I love you so very much. For those of you listening, thank you for doing so. Until I see you next time, I hope you find all kinds of ways to be really, really happy. Okay, everybody, great days ahead.